So assets are things that bring you money. It breaks it down as simple as assets are things that bring you money and liabilities are things that take money from you. You know, instead of working for money, I was that guy like, oh, I'll lift that. Nah, I'd rather pay him to lift that because I could pay 10 of them to lift that. They say the easiest way to hide something from somebody is to put it in a book. How true you think that is? It was true for me. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I'm gonna tell you about my experience and my journey to financial freedom. So, first of all, I don't know if y'all heard of the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, but I heard of it more than one time before I actually took action to read it. Right? So we get so busy and caught up in, yo, I gotta grind, I gotta get it, I need to work hard and, physical, and it's gonna turn into a lot of money if I work hard. Don't think that that's always the case. All right. The richest people in the world don't work for money. They money work for them. And I had to learn that. I was doing fiber optics for a company called Greenlight, and they run fiber for internet. And like a year or two before, my mentor, shout out my mentor. He know who he is. I'm sure he would like to be kept discreet, but he was like, yo, read that book. So I'm like, read that book, man. Come on, man. Let's do some business deals. You talking about read that book? I'm not with like, come on. You talking me out now? I'm not. You talking about read that book? So I'm like, stop the small talk. This small talk you talking about? Like, what are you like, man? Knock it off. I go and we actually have like a critical meeting now. It got critical because I'm like, yo, you just trying to push me off by telling me to read a book, and I was blocking my own blessing. This book had everything I needed. We sat down. He was like, yo, you want to be on your way to financial freedom? I told you to go read that book. And again, yo, bro, stop. You trying to talk me out. You just trying to throw a blanket over my head. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go read the book. I'm going to go read the book. Smart ass, right? I'm like, I bet. I go read the book. I'm talking about chapter 1. Chapter 1. By the way, this the title. This the book right here. But chapter 1, I start tweaking out. Like, yo, bro, I saw the light. I saw the light. It was already in my face. I saw the light. Then chapter 2, this shit got better and better and better and better. Robert Kiyosaki is literally giving free gems in that book. He's helping people get rich. That book honestly should be given out in every school. Every school. That's how powerful this book is. Literally, it changed my life. That's how I made the money that I'm making in real estate now. Because it shifts your whole mental. Chapter 3, it did that even more. And it's a bunch of topics in the book that we not really taught about in the urban community, and I want to touch on a couple of those. I got them written down right here. It's so powerful, and it was able to change my life because, like I said, I started seeing things different. Instead of working for money, I was that guy like, oh, I'll lift that. Nah, I'd rather pay him to lift that because I could pay 10 of them to lift that. And I might make $10 off each of them. That's $100. You know what I'm saying? So your money working for you, in other words. I'm going to start by telling y'all some of these topics, all right? We're going to go here. Assets versus liabilities. I could remember verbatim because, like I said, I haven't even, man, I'm sorry to say, I haven't even read a book since. I'm still working off this book mentally. So assets are things that bring you money. It breaks it down as simple as assets are things that bring you money and liabilities are things that take money from you. Period. You're never going to be able to accumulate a nice amount of money if your liabilities overweigh your assets. So if your assets bring you $1,000 a month and your liabilities cost you $999, you only profited net $1 a month. That's not good. That's not it. Your assets have to outweigh your liabilities by a lot. So in my life, to relate it, I cut down on bills, like gambling or eating out. I started spending money on groceries and warming food up to take to work at the time before I got fired. But it came perfect timing because that's how God do for me. He worked hard for me. And I work hard for him too. Likewise, I praise him. But not for nothing, I started seeing more income. I had a duplex at the time, and I was getting $1,000 a month for rent, and my mortgage was only $799. So that asset paid for my liability. Rent is a liability. Wherever you live is a liability. If you have an apartment right now, that's a liability. Yes, it's a necessity, still a liability. It takes money from your pocket. Simple as that. All right. Now, if you live there 15 days out the month and then you travel or whatever you do and rent it out the other 15 days, guess what? If you make more than what that bill is for that apartment or bills are, it becomes an asset for you. All right. Simple as that. So like I said, I start dropping my liabilities and raising my assets. It's as simple as that. It don't get no better or simplified than that. I started investing in stocks, actually. These are my subtopics that I have written down. Debt is a liability, but not necessarily, because off your debt, you could possibly make money, Like, I could say that I'm in debt for getting a $10,000 loan, but that $10,000 loan might turn to 20,000 and 10, which is 10,000 net, because I used it to fix up a house. You know what I'm saying? So don't use debt to buy liabilities. Use debt to acquire assets. All right. Taking calculated risk. So when I say that, I mean gambling and investing are two different things. You can't think, oh, I'm gonna go put 10,000 on a parlay and put 10,000 on a house, because 10,000 on a house could turn you to 15,000. A parlay, they set up for that. You know what I mean? So take calculated risk. You can't control that. Take risk that you can control. That's number 2. Number 3, I got focus on your mind, and know that your mind is your most valuable asset. And you have to train it well. You have to be disciplined. You create a schedule, a regimen, a routine. Get your body used to that. Being around the right people, eating the right foods. I really don't eat pork or beef at all. I make smoothies for breakfast most times, or I eat fruit. I make it creative, so I train my mind. Yo, look, I got mangoes. I cut them up a certain way now to, make it more appealing to me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't peel the whole outside. I cut the 2 sides and I make the little square. I love that. Like, I make my mind love that, so that it becomes something that I want to do on a daily. I spoke about this already. Work to learn and not for money. So one of the biggest things in that book was the kid, his dad was rich, and the friend was cool with the dad. They had a decent relationship, and he was paying him like 5 cents a day. Or no, he wanted to get paid like 5 cents a day. Now I'm not doing no scripted stuff, so this is all natural and organic. So he was like, he wanted to get paid for it. And the father was kind of like, you don't want to get paid for it. And he didn't understand why. He appreciated everything he learned about that business. Let's say somebody has a recycling company, where those big dumpsters and all. If you go and it's for money, you're going to be worried about your money. If you go and it's for free, you're learning the process. Now, guess what? You're able to go open up your own company. You're able to know and retain the things that's necessary to be able to run your own company. All right. So that's like one of the most important things. And also, this is a gym too. If you do something for money, that person no longer owe you. Let's say you be like, yo, I moved this couch for you for $10, but you could have charged $100. You can't go back and say, oh, well, I could have charged you $100. You took payment. That's it. All right. So another jewel, if you don't take no payment at all, that person in the back of their mind feel like they owe you forever, no matter how big that favor is. So just make sure you understand the business here. All right. So these are things that I learned in that book, and that's why I'm bringing them up. The cash flow quadrants. It's basically saying how you want to get your money to come in. All right. Me personally, I'm trying to go where I'm not doing physical labor. I want to go straight to where I'm investing and giving other people opportunities to earn money for their family, because everybody's not an entrepreneur. Everybody can't be an entrepreneur. And that's just the facts of life. You can't force somebody to be. It just don't work like that. All right. So, Me personally, I would rather put money in places to where they're going to generate more. Think about it like this. I give you a good example. If you work at a hospital, right? And the hospital tells you, oh, yeah, we pay you $20 an hour. Imagine what they're making off of your labor to be able to pay you $20 an hour. They're probably getting $100 an hour off you, which is $80 profit an hour off of your labor, right? I want to be the person getting that $80 an hour. You know, you got to switch your mindset to be able to even think like that. So this goes back to, I think, point number 3. Understanding tax and legal system. Now, at the time, that didn't really apply to me. You know, I wasn't really filing taxes as a LLC at the time. Now I'm up to an S corp, but I wasn't filing taxes as a LLC at the time. I was still a worker, a W-2 employee, and so now I reread the book. I read it twice because I needed to know the things about the tax breaks and how to save money on taxes, the 1031 exchange, which is huge. In my case, I do real estate. The 1031 exchange is huge. Let's say I go flip a duplex, which is 2-family home. And if you sell the house within 2 years in New York State, you got to pay capital gains tax, which is like a higher amount of tax than you would if you held it for more than 2 years. So you can defer the funds into an account where you're like, yo, I have another subject property that I want to buy a double, and I want to put my earnings into that property. So you're not paying taxes on that. That's another gem. I'm dropping straight gems on y'all. You feel me? And now I feel like it's time for me to relate to where Rich Dad came in, Rich Dad Poor Dad came in at. I learned to let my money work for me. You know, I use my money to invest in properties, pay employees. I'm the last person to get paid every time. And I'm fine with that. I understand that the money is going to be much bigger. Somebody might charge me $3,000, $2,000 to do a bathroom. Guess what? That's going to increase the house value by $20,000. So it's like I get paid on the back end, but guess what? We litty. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what it's about. Instead of getting your money up front, we so used to that. And I actually want to teach my daughter that, but that's for another time. Make sure y'all go tap into Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad. That's the best book that I've probably read in my whole entire life. I appreciate y'all. Thanks for all the support. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, and comment. We building a family. It's litty.
I ain't talking about no picture, I got rich off Instagram. Her poet, I speak for the streets, you might not understand. I'll tell you nothing before a lie, keep that shit a band. Fresh out the camera.